Stein-Farrall was a Toastmaster in Westfield, New Jersey for over 6 years. Held a variety of positions on our Toastmasters board, including Secretary, VP of Membership, and President. She has lived in Orlando since 2016 and has 2 grown children. Has accomplished her competent communicator, is now going to work on the persuasive speaking path. Today, she is, however, laying down a foundation for you to know her better, offering you a more traditional icebreaker about where she came from. Judith has Robert has placed on your tables a few flip books to look at as the speech progresses. Please share with your tables as you are able. You'll be prompted to turn the page as she goes, either verbally or through gesture. You are free to explore the booklet after the speeches if you are interested. Please welcome Toastmaster Judith Stein-Farrall.
Fellow Toastmasters, once upon a time, seems like a really long time ago, there was a little girl riding in the back seat of her parents' car from the West Side Highway in New York City through the streets on their way to their home in Greenwich Village. She was looking out the window, and as she looked out the window, she was practicing spelling, turn the page, the first word she ever learned, say it with me, B-A-R, bar, because of all the neon lights on all the bars between the West Side Highway and her home. Eventually, they got there, turn the page. This is the John Adams apartment building at 101 West 12th Street, northwest corner of 12th Street and 6th Avenue. It is 21 stories high, has 416 apartments, and 1 doorman. This little girl, we will call her Little Judy, lives in the 15th floor apartment, corner apartment, right here, circled in the picture. In the mornings, when she looks out her dining room window, this is the view she sees. Turn the page. Little Judy grew up in the shadows of the World Trade Center and watched it being built as a child. Many years later, from her kitchen television in New Jersey, she would watch it tumble. Now, New York City is like Orlando. Sections of it are neighborhoods, and Greenwich Village is a neighborhood. Its boundaries are Broadway to the west, the Hudson River to the east, 14th Street to the north, and how do you pronounce H-O-U-S-T-O-N?
Houston.
Thank you! Not Houston. Houston Street to the south. Little Judy's friends all lived either in the John Adams apartment building or in the brownstones around the corners, which their parents owned. Her parents and their parents were realtors, musicians, artists, textile artists, ballet dancers, madmen, that's my father right there, and ladies who lunched. Judy and her friends went to school. You all see this, okay? Went to school at PS 41 at 118 West 11th Street, 1 block south of her apartment, and they ate the best pizza from the famous Ray's. And how many of you are from New York? You know why it's important to tell you about the famous Ray's. There were pizza wars. We very rarely went farther south than the Waverly Theater or Washington Square Park, And we very rarely actually got to walk through the arch at Washington Square Park in those days. Instead, on our way to the playground, our parents would skirt the park, avoiding the drug dealers and the homeless and the gangs that frequented Washington Square Park back in the 60s and 70s. But New York, and Greenwich Village in particular, were known to be homes of the bohemian, hippies, counterculture, anti-war demonstrations. Progressive thinking and progressive music all filled the flats and the streets of New York City. On March 6th, 1970, the Weather Underground was building a bomb to take to an anti-war rally at Fort Dix, where they planned to detonate it. They screwed up. Now, little Judy may have heard the bomb explosion, but she would have processed it as the background sounds of New York City. It could have been a truck backfiring. It was 1 block east of her school. So while she didn't hear the truck backfire or the bomb, she certainly was aware of all the emotions going on, being held close to the chest by her parents and her friends' parents, while they processed what to do with this information, just as they had the year before during the Stonewall riots. Take a look, more pictures. Now, it won't surprise you at all to learn that little Judy is me. The arrow's pointing right to me, right there in the back. My friends and I, growing up in Greenwich Village, had the beauty and the experience of all the nuances of Greenwich Village, all the environment, the counterculture, the music, the questions that come from that kind of experience. You can be sure that while we did not need to know from the weatherman which way the wind blew, that all those experiences influenced who they are and who I am today. Fellow Toastmasters.
I think we're all from New York, or wish we were. Such a great city. I knew I'd get a few objections.